what in the hell is going on? I'm hearing they start fighting and Trump kicked him out. What? Oh my God.
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, "Hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal?" That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world.
Okay.
And I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe.
And people stop dying.
I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way, so that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now the President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2015.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
that's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. That people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire.
Okay.
All of them told me that he will never go. We signed him gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking
Assume this is where it starts to get heated.
the president for trying to bring it into this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have.
We're going to feel what in the future? What he talking about?
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what.
See, I got amped right with Trump. See that? Told you, man. We don't play no games. Straight shooters.
we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering
position
all
to
these
dictate
questions.
that.
That's exactly
Remember
what
this.
you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very
you will
good.
Feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't have you play cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you?
Even today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the...
Yo, man, they are getting it in. Live television. Actually rhymed, didn't it? No, he played it in Mars.
President who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your
No,
country
he
is
was a
in big
little
trouble.
bit.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No, you've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through this
said
stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for your
you
He
military...
says we gave you to a stupid president. Going off on Biden.
equipment,
You
and
voted
you
for
men are
your
brave, but they had to use our military.
What about
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of
Except
times.
that they're... Except
You know what's funny? In this room, we have two people who you wouldn't have thought would become presidents. If I'm correct, didn't people say, wasn't Zelensky a former comedian? Like, you wouldn't think of a comedian becoming the president of a country. And then, you know, Trump is a celebrity billionaire. You know what I mean? He's what you would consider more likely to. But when we were younger, we like, Trump is president? What? Reminds me of the whole thing with Back to the Future. When he goes back and he's talking to Doc, and he was like, well, future boy, who's the president of the United States in, 1985 or 84, whatever it was he from? And he was like, Ronald Reagan. The actor? Like, what? Like, nah, yeah, right. You know what I mean? So, interesting.
Except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low on
know.
soldiers. Listen,
Don't please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're
I
saying
said-
you don't want a ceasefire?
But I said to you,
I want a
with
ceasefire.
guarantees.
Because you get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what
That wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with
you.
a guy named Biden who was not a smart person.
This
That
is
was
your-
with,
this
that was
is
with
your president.
Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President.
Man,
It's going to be a tough deal to make, because the attitudes have to
he shut him up. He shut him up. Oh my God.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks?
That head back there on the right reminds me of the John Batman used to flip open, press the button, John, swing down, and then I just had to say that. It made me think of that.
I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
Well, what if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama.
This is actually the first time I think maybe I've seen Trump this amped talking about something. You know what I mean? I think I may have seen him, riled up a couple other times, but I think this is the most intense I've probably seen him. I think.
They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam.
No, I think I have seen him go toe to toe with certain reporters. And they run in their mouth and he's, shutting them down. I think I have seen him around this amped.
Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff, it was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out.
Thank you.
I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh?
You see what he did there? And what's funny is guys do that. And guys do that when they're trying to de-escalate in a way. They're not trying to intensify the situation. What's funny is you see animals do it too, like dogs and certain wild animals when they're fighting. They will look each other in the eye when they really want the smoke, when they want it to go down, when they are ready to punch you in the face. However, a lot of times when they're not, they'll talk like this. Like you're looking at me like this. It's like, listen, I'm telling you right. It's you're trying not to get to the point to where you're like, now I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? Because then you're ready to fight. So watch what he does.
But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing.
Because being that in close proximity and to look him in the eye like that, he knows it could come to blows. It could really get really intense. So he's trying to de-escalate himself and the situation by not totally looking him directly in the eye. And the head, like guys really know about this, but yeah. He trying not to get too intense. You don't want to have to F him up.
All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that.
Uh-huh.
We'll see what we can do about it.
Vance is like, yeah. He had a sigh of relief and was just like, yeah, that's what's it's going to be. Everybody going to be talking about this. Wow. Now they're saying he got kicked out. So let's see what this is. Let's see. Why did Zelensky leave White House after getting kicked out? All right, let me see here. All right.
Back to the White House, Jackie Heinrich has some new information for us. Jackie. Yeah, I just went up to the press area to get an understanding of what we're watching. This is what I was told. The president has kicked Zelensky out of the White House. His delegation right now is telling him that he's got to go home. The president felt disrespected. Officials in the room felt that beyond the language barrier that we've heard some discussion about, Zelensky's body language, shrugging and eye rolling, was ungrateful, disrespectful. And the president feels that Zelensky is not ready for peace, and he can come back when he's ready to talk about peace, but he's not in that position right now, and Zelensky is being told he's got to go. The lunch that they were supposed to have is sitting right outside the hallway, and the press staff are
getting cold.
eating that lunch. This is really pretty incredible. We see the
Jackie,
SUV,
hang on with us
Zelensky's
one moment.
SUV.
If you look to your left, you're going to see him. Let's watch.
Mr. President, is the deal off? President Zelensky, can you tell us what
He
happened?
walked out kind of fast. Let me see that.
To your left, you're going to see him.
Yeah,
Let's watch.
yeah,
Is the deal off?
he's done. Wow,
President Zelensky,
man.
can you tell us what happened?
Damn. I don't like this though, you know. I'm hoping that war will stop. Ceasefire. And then come to a deal. If what Trump said is true, it's easier to ceasefire than to come to a deal. So it's like ceasefire, let's figure this out, and end the war. Wow, man.
Back to the White House,
What
Jackie
the-
Heinrich has
Aw,
some
man.
information for us. Jackie.
Okay.
Question. He was at this meeting, and we're not relations fall through we may be watching the floor fall through this moment in international relations and diplomacy, or this might be the art of the deal, and we're not going to know for some time. Jackie, it appears that even going into this meeting that this relationship was not great. About a week ago, President Trump called Zelensky a dictator. He was asked about that yesterday with the British Prime Minister, and he said, "Did I say that?" Next question. As if he wanted to brush that off and make sure that things today went smoother.
Well, Zelensky, we're told, was begging to stay.
This reminds me of the time when Trump was flying to Mexico to talk to the president and said, "Look, we're going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it." And all of a sudden we got that Air Force One is turned around there. So something happened. They was arguing on the phone or whatever, and they wasn't going to come to no deal for Mexico to pay for it. It just reminds me of that, the whole, you know, didn't go the way we thought it was going to go,
begging
arguing.
the president, the White House, to continue talking. The president's having none of it. He felt that Zelensky's just not ready for peace, and this deal was not signed. There is no signing. There will be no joint press conference. The next time we're going to see the president is at departure. There he goes right behind me. Zelensky on his way out of the White House gate. No deal signed, no joint press conference, tensions at an all-time high between these two leaders. Really, the prospect of peace talks, what this means for the war that has raged on for 3 years, you cannot overstate what a moment in time we've just witnessed.
Can't believe it's been that
the
long.
president left the invitation open to come back when you're ready to talk seriously about what it takes to achieve peace, Zelensky feels very dug in. He was dismissive of the U.S. overtures that you've got to accept a ceasefire first. You've got to deal with the other side. The divide between the two could not be wider. And so we expect to see the president at departure, Marine One departure later on this afternoon when he heads to Mar-a-Lago for the weekend. But that is the only other time we're going to hear directly from him. And I guess we'll hear from Zelensky on special report tonight. But that is going to be must-watch TV after what we have witnessed here today.
Man, this is wild. Oh, I'm going to follow this. Good Lord. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think of this madness. Oh my God. 10 million subscribers. Whoa.